Okay, so welcome to our podcast. This is a little bit different today because this podcast is a spin-off of our radio show. I'm a very casual, this is a very casual podcast, right? So
good.
I do a radio show, and my radio show is just very casual as well.
Yeah.
So I'm grateful that you came here to
Absolutely.
be on my podcast. So I have this weird thing with my podcast, and I feel like it's going to backfire on me, and this could be the podcast where it backfires.
Let's do it.
Well, I have this like methodology of interviewing where I feel like, like I'm getting on an airplane like Southwest, and I'm going to fly to San Diego or Los Angeles, and I get on my plane, and you're right next to me. And
Right.
we don't know each other, and by the time we land, we know each other.
Right.
So I'm Googling you while you're next to me. So we just kind of like start talking and unfolding, and I get information and from you and more. And we pulled layers back and talk. But one of the reasons we met is because of a mutual friend, Rafael Gonzalez.
Yes.
I love Rafael. I consider him a good friend.
Yeah.
I also don't have a lot of friends. But.
He's a colleague and a brother. I mean, he's like my brother. Absolutely.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I love that man. Yeah.
I met him about 5 or 6 years ago when I went to Cancun to get stem cells. Right.
Yeah,
around then. Yeah.
absolutely.
And are you in that world?
Yeah. So I've actually been in the stem cell space for about 20 years.
Stop.
Yeah. So I was sending clients to Moscow. Yeah. Years ago. I worked with a company out of Scripps Hospital in San Diego. And then Rafael and I met, mutual clients. So I'm a health strategist, right? So I have clients that fly in from all over the world to have me help kind of decipher what's going on. And I'm also highly neurotic about what's in everything. And his cells were just the purest. And I was like, I need to know the scientists behind this. So that's how he and I became buddies. We're on the phone forever this morning. Yeah.
I talk to him sometimes. I have to go, hey, I need you to dumb this down for me. I need you to.
So we are called the science geeks in the clinic. Like he and I just go, blah, blah, blah. That's what I mean when I say, yeah, like a brother. He's
Wait,
phenomenal.
So 20 years. So in this stem cell space, 20 years, you've known about it all, and you like his the best?
The best. Absolutely.
That makes me feel so
yeah,
good.
You should. Yeah, they're neurotic. And I mean, I'm that way about anything I put in my body, anything that I put my name on, right? I have a degree in agricultural and soil sciences, then biochem, then master's in nutrition, and I'm in neuroimmunology. And so it's how the immune system responds to everything, right? Mm-hmm. And so stem cells or food or anything like that, if you put something in that has, potentially a positive impact, but carries with it something negative, it actually is amplified. So you have to be really careful.
Well, can you help me explain? And I've asked this of other people, and I can't explain it when it comes down to the situation. I had a guest here the other day, and they were like, "Oh, I get stem cells here," right. And I'm like, "They're not the same." Right. And they go, "Well, this doctor says they are mesenchymal stem cells from whatever," and I never know how to come back at them except for they're not the same. Trust me, they're not the same. And they're not the same, right?
Right?
No matter what they're saying, oh, it's now legal in Utah, it's now legal in Arizona. But can you help me explain what's so different about it?
Yeah, so I mean, I would say Dr. Gonzalez or Rafael would be probably much better.
Oh, I've asked them 100 times, and I still don't understand.
Okay, so I'm gonna give it to you this from a neuroimmunology perspective,
please.
right? So in my career for over 31 years clinically, we take the most difficult case and we try to create homeostasis, a healthy homeostasis. I want you to feel effing amazing, right? So stem cells are these early cells that don't know what they want to be when they grow up yet.
Okay.
And so you want to make sure if you're doing stem cell therapy, so we can take stem cells from ourselves. Sometimes people take them from the bone marrow, but we can also take what we call donor cells. And the best place to get a donor cell is in a live birth from what they call mesenchymal cells, or the inside of the umbilical cord. And so there are many stem cells, but it's how you process them. I mean, I cannot tell you how dirty, from a biochem perspective now, I'm going to jump in, how dirty the mediums are, and how when they're culture expanded, we lose a lot of the dignity of the cell. So for me, again, have taken clients to Moscow, to France, to Switzerland, all over the world. Yeah. And for me, that was a great, again, because I'm looking at when a body is overloaded, right? When the burdens become too much, that's when they call me in. And sometimes it's a professional athlete, but really it's usually people just like myself. I got into this industry. I'd gotten into vet school. I had to take a medical leave of absence because my health went completely sideways. it was a massive crisis. I almost died, right? And now I was early 20s, and now I live an incredibly vibrant and healthy life. So I had to learn how to take burden and toxic overload in my own body and how to get rid of it, regenerate, and heal. And so that's my whole life's work.
So wait, when you said you got really sick, do you know what it was?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So I was diagnosed with an autoimmune called ITP, which is where you don't stop bleeding, right? It's almost like a hemophiliac, except for it's platelet related. So I became fascinated with hematology or blood cells at a very early age. I had to, because I had to figure out how to reverse engineer my own body and what it was going through. That's why stem cells or NK cells or dendritic cells are super fascinating to me. So I was diagnosed with ITP, which is a bleeding disorder. But, I was young, in my 20s. I was working in veterinary surgery. I'd gotten into vet school, and I was given anti-rejection drugs, 60 to 80 milligrams of prednisone every day. And then it all came crashing down. My kidneys started to fail. I was offered chemo and a splenectomy. I was hospitalized. And I remember, there's those moments in your life where you just remember a pivot, right? And I remember like the hospital gown putting divots in my leg. I remember the sounds, I remember the smells. And I just said, this is not going to be my fucking destiny. It's just not. And so I went back, I learned biochemistry, I learned all about hematology, I got a master's in nutrition, I studied neuroimmunology. I'm a research scientist in neuroimmunology. And I said, this can't be my destiny. I am completely drug-free. I take no steroids. I take no anti-rejection drugs. I take a handful of supplements every day, you better believe it. And I've learned so I was exposed to malathion. So I was fortunate that I was referred to a toxicologist at the time when my organs started shutting down. Malathion was sprayed in California during MetFly. Yeah, and because I'm not a really good rule follower, I was out past curfew and we got dumped on. And I remember it was orange. You had to cover your cars. So as we were tracing back what we call homotoxicology, or how the body toxifies, right? As I was tracing that back in my own health, I learned where my original exposure and what was the trigger for my autoimmune disorder.
And that was it.
Yeah. And so I couldn't find a clinic that could take care of me in the way that I needed to be taken care of. So I built my own at 22. I have built 9 clinics, sold 7, and I consult with doctors all over the world when individuals have toxic overload.
Wow, my mind is blown. By that.
I love it.
With the autoimmune disease, so my experience with that is I have a friend that had pancreatitis and ulcerative colitis.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he's 35, and he's since he was 16, he goes to the hospital for about 2 weeks.
Could his name be Dane?
And you think, huh?
Could his name be Dane?
No, but I met Dane. In fact, I introduced him to Dane.
That's great. Yeah, it's a story.
That's right. That's right. So that's so
we're
funny
out there, right? Survivors of the environment. But I humor me for a second. Like if you close your eyes and you imagine, I want you to think about all the people that you know. How many can you think of right now that have just outrageous health? They're outrageously healthy. Right?
That are outrageously healthy?
Yeah. A couple? Yeah. And do it now and think about how many people are really struggling in their health right now.
A lot. I just found out of somebody I know just died yesterday.
Yeah. It's heartbreaking.
Yeah. Can I open my eyes now?
You can open your eyes.
My eyes are closed.
The people that are healthy, are they working hard at it?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's what it takes. And so, I've written 6 New York Times bestselling books. We've sold millions of copies. They're in 47 languages. This is why this next book I'm giving away for free.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. It's called Toxic Overload, and it's because it's full circle, right? 31 years ago, I was in that hospital bed, and I was able to walk this journey, and I flew 72 flights last year. I was in 12 countries. I feel freaking amazing, and everybody out there can too.
Is there a flight hack?
Oh, there's a total flight hack.
Like I saw somebody said, don't ever eat on an airplane.
Don't ever eat on an airplane.
Even your own food?
Hydrate. I bring my own food for sure.
So you can eat your own food on the airplane?
Yeah, and I manufacture my own bars. I manufacture my own shakes for a reason.
Like you can buy your bars?
Oh, yeah. I formulated for years for 18 other companies. I formulated
Who is my guest right now? You see what I'm saying? Like if I would have done this research, I'm so glad this is, what are the name of your bars?
Pomroy Nutrition.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh my God, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I feel like, are they in stores too?
No, they're not. They're direct to consumer. Anybody that's in a store is cheaping out on the raw ingredient. We can't afford to have good raw ingredients and sell
Pomroy,
retail.
I feel like I'd seen that bar before.
It's
at One Stop Nutrition. There's
Nope.
Are you sure?
I'm positive. I know.
I'm going to go
it's my
and I'm
name.
going to send
Yeah.
you a picture.
Yeah. And we were voted the purest, most bioavailable protein powder in the world right now. So
Is
it's
it third-party tested?
Oh, absolutely. Not only is it third-party tested, I cage everything. I third-party test each raw ingredient. And then I believe in compounding effects with toxins. So we have 27 ingredients. I third-party test once it's blended, which is almost unheard of.
How much protein is one scoop?
24 grams.
Wow.
Yeah.
You also do the creatine and all that?
I do not believe in creatine.
You don't believe
I do not believe in
I just got into creatine.
I do not believe in whey. So,
well, what kind of protein is it?
It's a lectin-free chickpea out of Belgium. I source globally, right? So like my B vitamins are out of Milan. I'm neurotic. Have you not noticed? Welcome. Hi. Nice to meet you. No, but it for me, it's not about, I can do anything at this point in my life, right? I have beautiful children that just both got married. I'm going to be a grandmother.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, in July. I know. Very excited about that. So my mission is that nobody feels as alone as I felt in that health crisis. Nobody's gaslit like I was during that health crisis. And that they have an actual handbook that I've used clinically for over 31 years that they can have access to for free. So I teach at the university, at a medical school.
Which university?
Nova, Southeastern. I'm at the Institute of Neuroimmune Medicine.
What city is that in?
In Florida, in Davie, Florida. Yeah, we have a Davie campus.
Did you come in from Florida?
No, I actually flew in from LA.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a place. It's where we film in our LA. Kitchen.
Good.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. What part of LA?
PV, Palos Verdes.
Oh, my sister is in Santa Monica, and she's in the TV world. She just took over for Mr. Beast. Do you know who Mr. Beast is?
Yeah.
Yeah, she runs his whole company.
Oh,
Isn't
that's
that crazy?
amazing.
Oh, wait. I want to jump back to a couple things.
Yeah.
So my friend who's 34, the ulcerative colitis,
Yeah.
I said, you need to come with me to Cancun.
Right.
Actually, I took him to Cancun, and then we went to Cabo, to ReHealth, to Raphael's clinic. 34 years old, been in the hospital since he was 16 for 2 weeks.
Right.
He got stem cells, and within the hour, Raphael, the doctor's like, hey, let's go get some enchiladas. And he was like, I can't. And they were like, no, you're fine. He's like, no, I can't. It's been 2 years. That dude has been off meds.
Isn't that amazing?
Not had one problem.
Right.
Because of the stem cells.
Right.
So when you were in the hospital and you're going through this, did stem cells help you, or you just cleaned yourself?
For me, it wasn't an option. So I had, again, in the hematology world, for me, it wasn't an option. What I did was I identified my toxic overload, right? I did removal therapy to bind and take it out. Your body's designed to heal.
What's removal therapy?
So sometimes we'll use chelation therapy. Sometimes we'll use micronutrients that help facilitate phase 1 and phase 2. I'm not opposed to colonics, but so the problem with toxins, they typically deposit in the tissue. They rarely stay in the bowel for very long. So we've got so the most biologically active tissue in our bodies is the brain, the thyroid, and the kidneys, right? When we say biologically active, it means it has the capacity to exchange nutrients really efficiently. So those are the hot spots for toxin deposition or depositing. So we've got to do things that nurture those organs, but we also have to do things that entice the toxins to come out. And then we don't want what we call retox, right? Where the body puts it into the bloodstream and then just recirculates it somewhere else.
So is sauna work?
Sauna can be great, but again, sauna can release toxins if you don't bind them. And so mobilization is one thing. So first you have to identify, then you mobilize, then you bind, then you remove, then you repair.
So how do you bind a toxin?
So you can use chelant therapies like EDTA, DMSA, DMPS. There's certain therapies that have an affinity depending on what the toxin is.
But are those therapies a pill, or are those?
They can be a pill. They can sometimes be IV therapies.
Oh, IV therapy.
Yeah, but
so if you're getting an IV, what are you putting in it?
So it depends. I'm a big in acetylcysteine, alpha lipoic acid. So I'm a biochemist, right? So I believe in cofactors. So there's not a pill or a fix. Protein's critically important. Easily digestible proteins. Pre and probiotics are incredibly important.
In an IV drip?
No, nutritionally.
Probiotic, real quick story. I went to, I've been seeing a lot of people post about this thing called coconut cult. Have you heard of it?
I absolutely have.
And so I was in California, and I saw it at the Sprouts. And so I bought a small jar and I thought it was okay. And then it was just plain. Then I saw one that said vitamin C and I bought a smaller jar and I ate it. It was great. And then I come to Sprouts here, sure enough, they have it. And I ate a whole jar. And then I was like, I was bored.
How you feeling?
Then I decided to read the label. And the label says 1 tablespoon.
Yeah, 1 to 2 tablespoons.
So I shoot
max,
them a DM. I'm like, oh my God, I just ate a whole thing of your probiotic. It was a jar this big. And they go, oh, that's called coconut cult roulette. Good luck.
Oh, I love their sense of humor. Yeah. That's awesome.
And I was like, okay, wait, but things worked out, but I have another jar in there and I'm afraid to open it.
Yeah, you go tread lightly with that.
So
for
one
sure.
spoonful of probiotic, would you do that at night or in the morning when you do a probiotic?
So probiotics, I like both times a day. So we have a probiotic that we use. I tell people in the morning to open, especially if you have cortisol issues, open the probiotic and rinse orally, or you have historical viral issues. People that
you have all this like on your website?
Oh yeah.
What is your website?
HayliePomroy.com. Haylie. I spell it differently. Right. Pomroy, Pomroy.
I've never heard of this.
But so the coolest thing is we have this amazing community, right? And anybody can join for free for 30 days. Download everything. I don't care. I want you to have help. Right. I don't want anybody to go through what I had to go through. I want to shorten my whole mission, right? Like I said, we're in 47 languages. We have already sold millions of copies of books. Great, but I want to shorten that gap. So we have this really cool community where we do small groups. People bring their labs in. Last night was teaching one of those small groups, and we go over everything. But back to the probiotic piece, we produce cortisol, right? First thing in the morning. It's when our body's most metabolically active that we're supposed to do that. And if you can increase the gut microbiome at that moment, so I'll do oral, open it, put it in the mouth, rinse, wait a minute, swallow, and then one in a pill form right before you go to bed.
Do you have a long morning routine of things you have to do?
I am a busy woman.
But I mean,
so this is my opinion. I need it to be easy. I need it to be fast. I need it to be clinically effective. We have one of the top labs in the world that I have access to. So I can't say like, Johnjay, you're going to feel better. Right. I'm a scientist. I'm a research scientist. So your labs have to change. Your structure has to change. I run a DEXA, whole body. I run echocardiograms on everybody that goes into our clinic. EKGs. I run all the immunology labs. So that's why my programs and protocols, it's why the Fast Metabolism Diet book did so good. Everybody said, it's so weird, it works. Yeah. It should, or I'm not going to put my name on it, right? So with Toxic Overload, this book in particular, we've worked with Gulf War veterans that have what we call GWI or Gulf War injury, where they're toxified from the burn pit. We've worked with women that have estrogen dominance and they've been toxified by plastics. We work with individuals that have anxiety, depression, ME/CFS, or myalgic encephalomyelitis, chronic fatigue syndrome, right? We're looking at labs, so my clinical programs that are food and nutrient-based have to actually work. And they do.
But the autoimmune disease you had when you were 22, that's gone?
It is, yeah.
Wow.
Isn't that cool? And it's so fun because like I've had the same hematologist for a long time. He was at Disney Cancer Center and he's at UCLA now. Dr. Arzu, I love you. He's amazing. He like sends the requisite over. He's like, run whatever you want. I still get my bloods tested once to twice a year for sure. But I have myself dialed in. Like I said, I was in 12 countries, 72 flights. I feel like $1 million and I shouldn't be alive.
Wow.
With what I have.
But are you also exercising? Are you lifting weights?
I do. I have horses. I ride horses.
You ride horses?
I walk my dogs. I love to swim.
What kind of dogs do you have?
I have Aussies.
Oh,
Australia. You can't be a horse
girl. So you
girl.
gave up being a vet. Sorry, animals. Yeah. I'm going to go save people.
Yeah. When I first started formulating, I got to work with the Denver Zoo and the endangered black rhino population. That was my first formulation in the supplement space. And I thought maybe that's where my heart would be. And then I had people flying in from all over that were really struggling in their health. But it used to be rare. It used to be not very common. And now, like you said, it's almost hard to find friends that aren't struggling. And not only are they not struggling, it's this multi-generational thing going on, right? It used to be like the only thing that was inevitable was death and taxes. Now it's death, taxes, and toxins. But what are you going to do about it?
There's a documentary I just started watching yesterday. I think it just came out on Netflix about plastics. Did you see it?
Yeah.
It's like an hour and 20 minutes long. I I woke up on the couch about 30 minutes in. It was a tough one, but it was really interesting. I mean, I get it. There's plastic everywhere. It's in you.
But but it can't just be in you. We are the three-legged frog at this point, right? Like everybody you know is having fertility issues, hair loss, terrible menopausal issues that you don't have to have.
My wife just had a hysterectomy.
I'm so sorry.
Because of
fibroids?
It's fibroids.
Yeah.
There was so much. She's had a crazy run. She was pre, all that stuff. And then finally she went to the our doctor said, I have my own doctor. And I said, you need to come to my doctor.
Yeah.
And my doctor, it was a woman, says, you probably have fibroids. Let's do an MRI. And they did it right away.
But even in a situation like that, we've surgicized the symptom. We've removed the fibroids, but we haven't fixed the why.
Right.
And that was the case for me, being on prednisone. I was, like I said, I was on Mepron. Those of you that know drugs, Imurin. These are anti-rejection drugs, right? The only next step was remove my spleen and go on IV chemotherapeutics, and that was not my option, right? But even in a situation like that, and when I say we've become the three-legged frog, when we have these swamps that are dumping toxic chemicals in it, the body will mutate in order to survive. Our body will create fibroids. Our body will create.
So why are they creating the fibroids?
Why are they creating them?
Yeah, because now that she had a hysterectomy, she can't. I mean, they could go somewhere else then, right?
Yeah.
She still has pain. She has this pain in her. In fact, we're going to ReHealth. This will be her third time. I'm getting NK in a couple of weeks, and she's getting the stem cells and the injections.
But I'm going to encourage. My team was furious that I was giving the book away for free, right? Because we were sitting.
Boss.
I didn't do whatever. I think once you almost die, you kind of live a fuck it life anyway, right? And so I love just doing whatever I want to do, and what I want to do is help people.
Right.
I'm fortunate to get to do that.
So how do they get the book for free?
Go to HayliePomroy.com/book.
Is it up there already?
Yeah.
Like people can get it for free?
It goes live, this week.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
it's brand new. You're
brand
my
new.
first. Isn't this crazy? You're the first. We're like announcing it right now. People
do
are
you
going
want to make it like an official thing?
kind of
we can
freak
post
out.
It, or I'll
sure,
talk about it
yeah.
on
Our community does. Our community is going to. We have such a strong community. They're going to freak out because they've been waiting on a new book, and I think that they have no idea I'm doing this. And I think that doing it for free is just what I've wanted to do for 31 years.
That's awesome to give.
Yeah. Why not? Absolutely. It's already come back to me. I get so many letters and so many messages from people who, I just want people to know that you can live a vibrant life, but you have to do something, right? And so what I've done is I've taken what I've done clinically down to, these are what labs mean. This is how you can have your doc run the labs. This is, I have 100 and something recipes in there. I have success boosters.
Recipes to get the toxins out of your body?
Recipes. So detoxification is one of the most nutrient dependent processes that we do in our body. So you need highly nutrient dense foods, and you need bioavailable or absorbable foods. So the biochemistry piece, it's about food combining, right? What herb you put with what protein so that you can release the amino acids efficiently, what vegetable, what fiber source you use so that it entices the gut microbiota to be excited about the food, biodiversity in the food so that you get nice biodiversity in the gut.
So is there, do you have a go-to meal that's your favorite?
Oh my gosh. I cook like crazy. I'm not a huge chicken fan, never have been. I raise my own beef. So I have a ranch in Colorado, and I raise organic grass-fed beef.
That is so interesting because you don't do whey protein.
I don't.
That's so interesting.
Let me tell you about whey.
Yeah.
When I was working in, again, my first degree is agriculture and soil sciences in the animal industry, and I was working in the dairy industry. And we would test whey. We would extract milk from the dairy cows. We would isolate whey, and we would test for cortisol levels. And the more elevated the cortisol, ranches and farms could get in trouble because that was poor husbandry. You weren't treating the animals right. So whey has the highest cortisol source. And a lot of people say, oh, it doesn't matter. Once you put it in a powder and you heat it, that is a hormone that is uniquely resistant to heating. So we find cortisol in whey protein powders. So when I work with an individual that I'm trying to get a lot of belly fat, they need to look bloated or drunk for a movie, Whey is my go-to. If I'm trying to get an individual that wants to be fit and healthy and have an amazing calcium score and their echo to be perfect, I wouldn't touch whey with a 10-foot pole.
Jeez,
it is so high in cortisol.
You're blowing my mind right now. I got the high calcium score. I'm doing whey all the time.
No.
I'm also trying to get my sleep better. And so the cortisol screws up your sleep somehow, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're supposed to metabolize cortisol and wash our receptor sites. So many people are getting this afternoon slump, right?
Yeah.
Where you get a fatigue response in the afternoon. So we get a secondary surge in cortisol. But one of the things that people don't realize is that toxins, especially fat-soluble toxins, bind in the gallbladder and inhibit melatonin metabolism. So even if your body's producing melatonin or you're consuming melatonin, if you have toxic overload, your receptor sites, your melatonin receptor sites are like gummed up. So think about having like a world-class goalie in front of your hormone receptor site. So hormones come in and they travel through the bloodstream, and then your receptor sites catch them and they make them bioactive into the tissue that they receive, right? If you have toxic overload and the gallbladder is impacted, or you have your gallbladder removed, you cannot metabolize melatonin, so the receptor sites aren't available to get deep and restorative sleep. So, hey, mouth tape or breathe, bubbled oxygen, whatever the heck you're gonna do, if you have toxic overload, you cannot out-hack that in a body.
Okay, and whey protein is definitely
high cortisol.
Is a toxic
and
overload.
it's an animal cortisol.
And I was on my radio show today. I did a whole thing on getting better sleep, and I'm doing everything I can. I got the.
We're going to replace your protein powder.
Yeah, well, I think that's number one.
Please, for the love of God, don't tell me that you do collagen.
No,
okay,
I did for a
God.
while, and someone told me it was the same thing.
And bone broth or whatever.
No,
okay, good.
No.
Highest glutamate of anything you can buy on the market. Phenomenal neurologist at Harvard just did this incredible study. She came to our institute. We have what's called the CCR, the Center for Collaborative Research. So we have doctors globally that come in and do research with us. This doctor is phenomenal. I was actually first met her. I was at Cambridge. We were at the Crick Center where DNA was discovered, right?
Yeah.
And we had a closed room session, 135 scientists came from all over the world, and we talked about neurotoxicity, specifically, ALS, long COVID, Lou Gehrig's, what we're seeing in this massive epidemic post-pandemic, right? And this doctor was talking about glutamate. She said, the highest places that we find it is consumption of commercial grade bone broth. Grandma makes it, you're good. If you buy it commercially, the glutamate's elevated, and in collagen products. Just crazy. And don't even get me started on creatine.
Anyway, is it different for everybody, or it's just generally speaking?
Glutamate is glutamate.
No, like protein powders. Like my son is an athlete, plays basketball in Hawaii, and he does protein. That's not true. He gets as much natural protein as possible.
Perfect.
Yeah.
He should eat animal, vegetable. Yeah. We are omnivores.
Right.
This whole stuff about carnivore diet, right? Cool if you want the life expectancy of a carnivore, which was about 35. Caveman, caveman diet. I'm like, you want to go on a caveman diet?
You got to eat everything, right?
The nuts, you do. The absolutely.
Wait, do you sell your beef?
Just privately. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'll get you whatever you want.
Wait,
I got
God,
you.
You just blow my mind. Wait, okay. I move fast and I jump forward and backwards, but it seems like you do too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
hey, every day's a gift to me. I'm here.
Well, you got a great attitude.
Yeah.
So when you talk about toxins, what's your take on these procedures now, like EBU?
I owned an IV clinic for I'd say about 15 years.
Well, you're way ahead of the game.
Yeah. So I was doing EBU, but we used to call it IV UVB, and we also do IV ozone, IV H2O, which is hydrogen peroxide. We did chelation, DMPS, DMSA, EDTA.
So you believe it?
Totally.
So then what about...
I think EBU is really good in the viral load, CMV, EBV, Parvo, HSV6. Like when we have a elevated, what we call an immunoglobulin.
But what about just preventative? Like just do it.
I think it's great to purify the blood. I have this dream that your toxins hang out in the blood. Almost never. They're in the tissue. So we know that the antibodies hang out in the blood for infection, but what we have to do is we have to entice and draw it out of the tissue. So it's very strategic from a nutritional perspective. You've got to reduce inflammation, right? Mm-hmm. You've got to completely eradicate insulin resistance. I mean, in order for the body to detoxify. So the federal government calls these chemicals, obesogens, right? Fat soluble products that promote lipid proliferation or fat cell proliferation. They're obesogens. Just like things cause cancer, these things cause obesity. And thank God they do. You would be poisoned and die if they didn't, right? So you have to entice them out. You have to bind, you have to remove, you have to repair, and you have to make yourself more resilient, because none of us are going to, I mean, I flew on an airplane today. I drove on the freeway. They just had a big study that just came out that showed air pollution is cutting our life expectancy 8 to 10 years. And the number one area for air pollution is in the house. You know, fabric softeners, scented candles. But this is the thing. It's smacking us in the face. We're seeing it in everybody we know getting sick. And like I said, it's multi-generational. So we have individuals, a woman that's, you know, her husband's got elevated calcium score, isn't sleeping at night. You know, her father maybe is showing signs of dementia. She's having a hysterectomy. Her son is having asthma, you know, and everybody around, it's just...
There's just something, it's everything, it's everywhere.
We're being poisoned.
Right.
So okay, yes, I'm working to educate medical students. That's why I take on M1 and M2 students, first and second year of medical school, right? That's why I have them, I mentor. That's why I have them come and work on my research projects, because I want to change the medical curriculum so everybody's not gaslit.
Well, how do you get rid of all the stuff though yourself? How do you get out of your, I mean, how do
That's
you make
exactly
me, like,
what
you
the
want to
book
be in
said.
a bubble?
No, you don't have to, you can't be in a bubble. You want to live life.
So the book is going to tell you everything.
The book's going to tell you everything. You can ask me anything about it. I'm going to give it to you free. I'm not trying to get you to buy a book.
Right.
Have it.
Okay,
it is exactly what I've done clinically for 31 years. It's what saved my life. And I will tell you, and we know this, you know, as Raphael and I were talking about this morning. I have a client that came to me, was referred from Brigham and Women's Hospital in the immunology department. The rheumatologist there said, Haylie, we know what you've been through, and we've got somebody that's on the lung transplant list. Her toxic level, when we ran her through toxicology, we ran her through a whole bunch of different testing. Her toxic level was insane. She has a PFT, pulmonary function test, of a 30-year-old woman. She's 68 now. She's off the transplant list. She lives an incredibly vibrant life. I have her exact protocol in the book.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I mean,
Do you bring her up? Like, specifically, we'll be able to set you.
Oh, yeah, she was on my podcast. Yeah.
Oh, she was? Okay. Yeah. What do you think about hyperbaric chambers?
Love them. So I ran a study on HBOT with GWI, with Gulf War injury individuals. We ran SPECT scans on the brain prior. A SPECT scan is like, so if you think about an MRI looking at big vessels, a SPECT scan looks at tiny vessels, so more for neuroinflammatory response. And we did HBOT with Dr. Delfina. I don't know if you're familiar.
Heard the name.
Yeah, so Delfina was known in New York.
He's like a legend in hyperbaric,
NYU.
right?
Yeah. So he is the doctor that's woken the most individuals up from a coma. Dear friend of mine. Yeah, I love the man. I think he's great. So we ran our veterans through that program, and the change in HBOT, the HBOT, hyperbaric chamber. Yeah. The change in the SPECT scans was phenomenal, but also the change in the symptom profile, the anxiety, the PTSD.
What about I see all these different kinds of hyperbaric chambers, and I feel like there's only one that's legit.
Yeah, I mean, it's
like you need a doctor on site.
Right, you need a doctor on site, and it's the pressure. Like when my grandmother had a stroke, there's a private hospital in LA that we were able to get her in really quickly. Post-stroke, it's phenomenal. I had another client that during a colonoscopy, they perforated or they tore in her intestine open, and she went septic. We got her in the hyperbaric chamber. We've had clients that have had carbon monoxide poisoning. So in those critical care situations, you can put them in the hospital.
But what about for getting rid of the toxins?
There are phenomenal places now available. But
for
the soft bags are great for skin, for anti-aging.
The zip ones, are those ones show up?
The soft bag, yeah.
Those are the ones I was kind of like,
well, they're good for peripheral stuff. People that have maybe eczema, even some plaque psoriasis, that can be really good. But it's more to nurture the skin. You're not permeating deep enough to get into the brain, and you're definitely not permeating deep enough to get into the organs. You would
love my doctor.
I would.
She has 4 hyperbaric chambers. She has a gym in her facility.
Lovely.
That's how I met Raphael, through her.
Lovely.
She introduced me to Raphael.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, her name's Dr. Bordinko.
Yes.
In fact, I'm going with her to Cancun to get almost every time I've got stem cells, I've been with her.
That's awesome.
She's amazing.
But so I'm gonna say this. So you are putting stem cells into a body that's struggling, and it's going to keep you treading water. What I want to do, because I see a lot of the individuals, what I want to do is have you create an ecosystem that when you take stem cells, you can truly reverse aging.
I'm trying everything. I wake up in the morning. I drink electrolytes and water.
But that are probably corn-based now, by the way. 98% of the electrolytes on the market, I do.
God,
it's non-corn.
You know what, though? To your website
I just want to tell you, I am neurotic. So,
right.
so like, I'll go toe-to-toe with anybody. Like, I will not put my name on it if there's a better product on the market, period. Because why?
Right.
I have no problem referring out to anything else. I am a massive fan of electrolytes. What happened was both Big Pharma and Big Food started buying all these great companies. I mean, the companies I raised my kids on, the companies that I was taking to change my life, right? Electrolytes are so dirty now. And so I was forced, right, to create one.
Outside of yours, is there another company you like?
No.
No
way.
And
I want to say yes. I am, because mine aren't easy to get. We run out all the time. We are sold out all the time. Wow. It's so hard to get clean raw ingredients. When I purchase protein powder out of Belgium, I probably retain 13 to 17%. I only take the cream of the crop. The BV value, the biological absorbability value, is never under 95%. To get into like Whole Foods, you have to be about 23%. Wow. I sell the rest of it off to other companies, and I keep the best for my client base.
I'm going to your website. I'm going to buy everything. Well, so
the biggest thing is I want everybody to have the protocol.
I do the electrolytes.
Okay, make sure they're not corn.
Right, and then I do the. I'm going to buy your stuff now. And then I do a little weight and stretching routine. I get up at 3 a.m. I do a weight stretching routine.
Do you eat first?
No.
You should not fast before going fast.
No, I fast 18 hours.
So do you wear a glucose monitor?
No, I don't know what
Okay, you're having a bicep sandwich. So what happens is, that's continuous monitoring of your blood sugar. So
was that the thing I've seen guys? Could you go like this? They'll be like a thing.
So in the Human Nutrition and Food Science Department, we test continuous blood sugar, right? And when you're mobile and active, you have a surge of cortisol, right? It's the best time for your body to utilize glucose efficiently. If you don't eat, you will get glycogen stored in your body. It's coming either from the muscle or the liver. So you are eating before you work out, and I can promise you, I'll test your blood sugar and show you, you are eating, you're just eating your biceps or your liver. Now,
I see what you mean. I'm eating my whatever.
Your tissue. This is the problem. You don't go into what they call beta oxidation, which is where you metabolize fat until your sugars levels are stable enough. So you will go muscle first, fat second.
But I'm not lifting. I'm just getting my body
Within 30
moving.
minutes of waking, you've lost your opportunity. At the 2-hour period, we'll test you. You don't have to, look, I'm a scientist. I'm going to look at blood and I'm going to look at hair. I want to look at everything. But I don't mean to sound cocky, but I'll put money on it. You're eating your own tissue.
If I can't get my arms behind.
And obviously you're doing a hell of a job.
In hot tubs. A hot tub and cold plunge in the morning. Last thing I do is a cold plunge, then I shower, then I do some more stretching.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Are you taking testosterone?
A small amount of testosterone.
Do they have to put you on Arimidex or tamoxifen?
Yes.
Okay. Massive problem. You cannot, so this is what your doctor said. Let me give you a drug that, by the way, you can't metabolize. So let me give you a cancer drug so that you don't kill yourself. So you are not, you should be able to take testosterone, burn it up, put it on your muscles, be like He-Man, feel like $1,000,000, not have any inflammation. My 83-year-old mother just had her calcium score done. It was 0. Wow. 0. You are too young to be taking Arimidex or tamoxifen, which is a drug for breast cancer, just so you know. But they have made it so common with men because you have, again, I'm not a gambling woman. I give things away for free. I'll do anything you need me to do. I promise you, if you cannot metabolize testosterone, your toxic level is through the roof. So we use, I can get super geeky here.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So we metabolize the cholesterol molecule into a master hormone called pregnenolone, right?
Oh yeah, I was taking some of that too.
Okay, so you're taking the master hormone.
Not now, I was.
But you should be producing your own.
Right.
It then goes to DHEA, then we go estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, 2 classes of hormones called mineralocorticoids and glucocorticoids, right? And then we metabolize vitamin D. So 5 steroids and a sterol. If you're not manufacturing enough testosterone your own, there's something upchain, right? Mm-hmm. So then they're adding testosterone and you're back converting to estrogen. That's why they have to put you on an estrogen blocker.
Right.
You should be able to take testosterone and remodel it into a healthy adrenal hormones. So we probably have an inverted cortisol curve, right? But all of it is because when fat soluble toxins are stored, the liver gets burdened. We don't conjugate bile salts. So you'd be like a super good SIBO candidate sometime down the line. You know what that
SIBO?
is?
No.
Small intestinal bacterial overgrowth.
Oh, God.
So when the gallbladder doesn't conjugate bile salts enough as it drips into the small intestine to be digested, it doesn't create the right pH to kill off the bad bacteria. So I'm not trying to freak you out. But let's get you. You need to be. I don't want your wife. I want your wife feeling amazing. I want you feeling amazing.
She should have been here with me. She comes to every podcast.
We'll do it. Let's do it. But this is the point. The point is that we medicate our dysfunction instead of taking a whole systems approach to listening to the body. The symptoms are like such an intimate conversation that our body has with ourselves, right? We need to listen. We need to lean in, and we need to fix the why.
Is any of this stuff in your book about the guy stuff?
Absolutely.
It's in this book or another book?
Absolutely. And you know how I knew you had to take inhibitors? Because you're doing cold plunge and you're not eating and you're fasting, right? Yeah. So you get an inverted cortisol curve, which inhibits testosterone metabolism efficiently. Like I would love to look at not only the ejection fraction in your echo, but I'd like to look at a gallbladder ejection fraction with you, because you should be able to metabolize testosterone. You've got great muscle mass. You're young. Like that's just because it's common doesn't mean it's normal.
Well, I have to be honest with you. I was doing all this. I've been cold plunging since 2007.
Fine.
But I mean, like, it was.
As long as you can metabolize your testosterone.
No, but I'm saying, like, now everyone's, I feel like sometimes I was way ahead of this game.
Yeah. I was going flying to Moscow for stem cells.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. You're way,
I opened my first clinic at 22.
Wait, so have you done stem cells
I have.
yourself? And NK?
No, not NK.
No, I've done NK once. I plan on going back. Well, I'm doing it in 2 weeks.
Very cool.
Will you do NK? So that's your own stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So what they do, when I went through, kind of my health crisis, right? I did, and I've done significant viral panels and looked at my interleukin 1, 6, my TNF alphas, the Treg cells. Like
you're something else. Man.
Why?
You're just,
anyway, nerd alert.
Right. No,
right?
It's fascinating.
Big nerd alert. It's not warranted for me. Maybe at some point in my life, but right now my platelets are unbelievable. I feel incredible. I have an abundance of energy. I don't do caffeine. Again, I travel, I ride horses. I have a beautiful family.
Do you monitor your kids' blood and all that stuff too?
Yeah. They're so biohacked, those children.
What about peptides? Are you into that stuff?
I love peptides for people. I just wish that I was so funny. I have a phenomenal compounding pharmacist in Michigan. We was seeing the Sultan in Dubai and the Saudi royal family and working with them. And I was introduced to him through them. And I'm like, why the heck aren't you compounding peptides for me? It's really hard to get clean peptides right now.
That's what I hear.
So you go out of the country. I go to Vienna. I was just in Austria, in Germany. And so usually I'll coordinate that kind of care out of the country.
Let me ask you, what was the thing that happened that blew you into the stratosphere of like being an expert and everybody coming to you and you becoming a best-selling author? Like who said she's got to write a book? Like what was that moment? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So I'm super dyslexic. My reading level's on the 3rd grade, visual reading, right? 3rd grade, 2nd month. When I set for my GRE, they retested me. Thought I maybe would have gotten better. As I was working through things, it was actually my hematologist referred, and he's super open about it. Rocket Ishmael. I don't know if you remember Rahib Ishmael, football player. Yeah, Heisman Trophy winner. Yeah. And Rahib had some things going on from a health perspective, and my hematologist was like, hey, you've been through this, and this is going on. Would you work with him? And I really struggled. I was so gaslit, right? It was like in the 20s, I'm supposed to stay on steroids. I couldn't. I'm supposed to be on IV chemotherapeutics. They're supposed to take out my spleen, and I'm just supposed to be okay with that. So that's why I took medical leave of absence from vet school, but then I decided to open my first clinic, which is insane. I opened a 6,000 square foot clinic in my 20s, and I hired a ton of doctors. I hired a hematologist, I hired a cardiologist, I hired an endocrinologist, and I'm like, and my company's called Brainstorming Session, we're going to sit here and we're just going to brainstorm what the hell's going on. And I'm going to be like the guinea pig, and we're going to do IV chelation with Terry Grossman. Like I was pulling all these people in just to kind of figure things out.
In Los Angeles?
No, in Colorado.
We're in Colorado.
Fort Collins, Colorado.
Oh, I have my radio shows there.
Yeah. So yeah. Okay.
I'm in Fort
So I had
Colorado.
I was in vet school at CSU, Colorado State University. Yeah, I'm a Ram. So Rahib was the first that was like, I'm screwed, help me, right? And I was pulling all these doctors in. And then it just blew up. I started seeing a lot of NFL players. I started seeing individuals.
Because he's like, hey, you got to check out this person I'm working with.
Yeah. And I was so young and it was crazy, but I'm driven, right? And I'm also, if I don't know my goal is to be in a room full of people that are way smarter than me. Always, right? So
I find that probably happens very rarely.
No. But I believe in a clinic without walls. I believe that, everything, we should source things globally. I was interviewing Peter Marks, the head of the FDA, CBER, Center for Biologics, during the whole COVID thing, right? I flew into DC and I was interviewing him and we were talking about it. And I said, people were so stressed and polarized about the vaccine and what was going on. And I'm like, I don't care. I'm in a room with Peter Marks. And I'm going to ask him everything about J&J. I'm going to ask him everything about Moderna. I'm not afraid to ask or feel like the
all hell's going to break
dumb.
loose.
Yeah. Or judged, right? Like I'm curious. So then it was funny because I started seeing all these Hollywood actresses when I moved into LA. It was like Sharon, Jennifer Lopez, and Reese Witherspoon. And this agent, actually Mason Novick, he's a producer in Hollywood. He did, Jennifer's Body, 500 Days of Summer, Juno. And he's like, you have to talk to my agent. You have to write a book. And I'm like, I can't read a book, let alone write a book, right? I do everything auditorily. And he was on me and I had like 500 followers on Facebook. I wrote the Fast Metabolism Diet. It was picked up by Crown Random House. We had a 2-day meeting. It sold millions of copies in 47 languages, and it was #1 on the New York Times bestsellers list, and nobody knows who I am, and I'm okay with that.
The Fast Metabolism book?
Yeah.
Wow.
Fast Metabolism Diet, yeah.
Fast Metabolism, and is it a simple, like is it a certain food that you eat?
I call it confuse it to lose it. So basically we work on healing the metabolism and metabolic pathways. So I work on the nervous system, the endocrine system, the detox system. So we take a systems approach to how the body consumes foods and uses micronutrients. We have logged millions of pounds of weight loss. Like our community, it's crazy. And the goal is to eat more food to lose more weight, right? When you turn strategically towards food is medicine, right? Food is evoking a change in the body. You can actually shift things. So my clients being NFL, NBA, that whole, I always say we've got exotics, endangered species in the zoo and highly pressured professional athletes. And I could do anything with them. We could fly anywhere in the world. I could go anywhere. I learned so much from having that endless possibility client base. But the thing for me was Susie in Kansas, Sally, someone's wife that has a hysterectomy. That's way too young, right? But has to. It's medically necessary. That's always, for me, been something that was really important. It's why I built my community. There's nobody else in our space that has a community that we do. It's just something that's really important and passionate.
But you would take is that when you would be like, we need to go to Moscow and get stem cells?
Yeah.
And you would take somebody to Moscow and
I've traveled all over the world.
Do the same type of stem cell that Raphael does.
So we actually, with the first client that I went to Moscow with, we did what they call cardiocyte. So they would grow the cells next to heart cells. So this was an individual that had a triple bypass and heart attack on the table and had significant ischemia in the I think it was in the left ventricle, and so significant heart damage. And so in Moscow, they were growing stem cells or culture expanding them next to, which is really, and this is the whole exosomes. Are you familiar? Yeah. In a medium that was separated by a glass barrier, but next to tissue-specific cells. And it was phenomenal. And his ejection fraction completely reversed. I mean, it was really exciting for me in the first time in the stem cell space. Now, I want you to know, though, we do all of this in the horse industry for decades. So, we've IRAP, which is different, but things like PRP and things of that nature. I had spent a lot of time in Germany riding. I rode competitively, and I rode in Europe. And so
after your hospital experience?
Yeah.
Wow.
When I decided I wasn't going to not live, I decided to really live.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Yeah.
So you worked with Jennifer Lopez and Reese Witherspoon. That's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
In fact, you said something about earlier, like when you worked on movie sets. What movie? Or I think you said
Iron Man was a big one
you
that I
worked on
did.
Iron Man?
Oh yeah, yeah,
I love
absolutely.
that movie. That's the original.
It's the bomb. Yeah.
You like so.
It was fun. I got to drag my kids. So that one I was brought in by Robert specifically. So
Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you were like his what? Like his nutritionist, or
so I consider myself a health strategist.
Okay.
Right. So I'll go into any case, and it doesn't matter who it is. Right. Like I said, Susie in Kansas.
Sure.
Yeah.
Tammy, whatever.
Yeah. Absolutely.
He's not one of the biggest actors in the world to you. He's just well, how can I help you?
She's an incredible human being, right? That just like all of us has had toxic overload.
Oh yeah.
Just, I mean, when Robert came into my world, I think he had been to 56 rehabs. I don't know if you've ever met his wife, Susan.
No, I've never met him before.
Yeah.
I almost saw him.
You were talking
in San
about
Diego one time.
A brilliant woman. Yeah. A brilliant woman and just an incredible family, Yeah. So I'll be brought in that particular case. I think it was, it was one of the head of the studios, I think it was Ron Meyer at the time, was the head of the studio at the time. And I had worked with Ron and his family. And he had said, we're doing this movie and we need to get Robert like really 100%. And it was so funny. The first time I went to his house, he had like 5 Krav Maga guys in the driveway. And like, they're like doing all this stuff.
He was shredded.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So you helped him with his diet and
everything.
Yeah. And the next movie with him too, or did you just get
we've done I've been really fortunate to work with a lot of different people. And I think it's like this Wednesday, I'm going to be in our Florida clinic, and we have 3 people flying in from different states. So most of the time, I don't take any new clients, right? I haven't for a long time. Most of the time people are dealing with some pretty big things health-wise.
Sure.
And so either the physician, whether it's at, Harvard or Brigham or NYU or Mount Sinai, it doesn't matter where it is. They'll call me in and say, hey, can you come in, review a case? We need to assess everything from labs to lifestyle to the biochem to the supplement for sure. Because
let me ask you this, wait, so if you're helping Robert Downey Jr. on Iron Man and you educate him, so then he doesn't need you anymore. Is that how it works?
It depends.
Are you on the set of Doomsday?
No. So I don't do any more studio contracts.
Oh, you don't?
No. No.
I was hoping maybe you were on Spider-Man.
Oh, I did Spider-Man.
Did you really?
The first one.
The Tobey Maguire one?
Yeah.
He was shredded in that too.
Thank you.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
We learned a really funny thing about the craft table. He's vegan, right?
No. Are you pro-vegan? Oh, no, you're omnivore.
The sugar on the craft table was made out of pig blood. I'm like, hello, everybody. Like, stop. We've got to fix things. Like,
wait, how are you at restaurants? Can you do?
How am I at restaurants?
Like, are you kind of like, hold on a minute?
It depends on where.
Is it beef tallow? No beef tallow?
Yeah. So I'm part of being able to live, right, is to live in the world. So I work really hard to make my body very resilient. So I like our cleanse and detox, right, protocol, I do quarterly. Always. Every time I travel, I drank one right before I walked in. I take our metabolism shake, which works on phase 1 and 2 of liver detoxification. I take a beet-derived vitamin C to make sure that my adrenals are nurtured and supported. Like, I nurture myself. It's so habitual. It's so normal for our world, for my life, for my kids, for my friends, for my girlfriends, right? Like, we all just have this tribe where we're like, my goal is to go out in a freaking blaze of glory, right? And feel amazing the moment before I leave. Like, that's the piece, right? I don't want longevity. I want quality and longevity. So when you ask, like, how am I at a restaurant? I know how to navigate it. With clients, I'll call ahead. I'll order stuff.
But you're also in the world. So whatever.
I'm in the world, absolutely.
Will you eat the bread?
No. So I'm going to tell you, if you have an autoimmune disorder, you don't eat gluten, you don't eat gliadin. Right. There is not a rheumatologist or an individual that studies immunology. I'm heading to Prague in May. Every year I'm at the International Conference for Autoimmune Disorders. Nobody does gluten or gliadin with autoantibodies. Right. You don't. So, like, get over it. Let it go. You probably shouldn't do dairy, corn, or soy either.
What do you think of red light beds?
Love them.
Yeah, they're good.
I have infrared sauna at the house.
I do infrared sauna before I came here, but I also do a 20 minutes in a red light bed under the setting of inflammation.
I love that you're doing all of this.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't fix your toxic overload,
Right.
you're treading water.
Okay. So when you say fix your toxic overload,
So
that's
I would
in the
take
book.
you through a very specific protocol, right? We'd first do some identification. We'd then do binding. We'd then do facilitating or mobilization. We'd then do healing of the pathway. Then we would make you super resilient.
Wow. And I can do all that on your website?
Yeah, but go into my community. Like you don't have to.
When you say go to my community, what does that mean?
So go to HayliePomroy.com/member.
Okay.
You can go in for 30 days for free. Like literally. Anybody in the world right now, think about Andrew Campbell, the head mycotoxin mold toxicity person in the entire world. I mean, he's just like the person if you're worried about toxins associated with mold. Andrew Campbell comes into my community. We ask him questions. All my members get to ask him questions. Aristotle Varjani, the one of the leading in the immunology space as far as he runs immunosciences company. He comes into our
okay.
Oh yeah. Varjani, Aristotle, like he answers questions for my community members. Like Raphael comes into my community about stem cells. Like I wanted to build. So I went through hell to get where I'm at. I don't want anybody else to have to do that. And I can do whatever I want. Yeah. And so what I do is I build this juicy community that people can come in and ask questions. I don't want you to just go to my website and feel like you're alone on this journey. You don't have to be. Come in, you can download everything I have for free. I don't care. You can have this book for free. Everybody should have it. Teachers should be teaching this in school. It's what science says is true. I don't know if you just saw that recent study. Consumer Reports did it, but they took the top 30 supplements that are purchased on Amazon, right? 72% of them didn't have what's on the label. The scariest part for me being in the supplement space is that I believe it was 42 or 47% had pharmaceuticals in them. So what a lot of supplement companies are doing right now is they're adding prednisone, they're adding sex enhancers, they're adding cholesterol medication into their supplements, not putting it on a label. But if you had high cholesterol and you bought this little pill on Amazon and you took it and your cholesterol went down, you'd reorder it, right? So you might think you're not taking drugs and you are. This is independently tested. So we're in a shitstorm, for lack of a better way, and we're seeing it politically, right? It's really funny because I worked on Participant Media did a movie called Food Inc. Do you remember that? Yeah. I worked on Food Inc. Yeah.
I saw all those. Was that the one with the fireman and his son?
Yeah. And Food Inc. It's got the big cow on the front of it.
I know exactly.
So it's so funny when I was working on that movie. They were like, "Oh, it's you're this hippie granola, lefty, blah 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 blah." And now I'm like working in neuroimmunology, and they're like, "Oh, you're this, right?" Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, food should never be politicized. Our health should never be politicized. I know it is. And you know what I'm so happy about? Is that everybody's talking about it.
Yeah,
it's the
that's
only
true.
way you resolve things is to talk about them. Yeah.
On your website, you sell multivitamins too? Yeah. Is there you have it for men and women, or it doesn't matter?
So the multi should be unisex, in my opinion.
Right.
And then you tailored. So that's, again, in our community. So we have the community because we have what we call supplement reviews, right? Where we'll go over things with individuals. We have coaches so like I just ran a huge 30-day cleanse challenge in January. I'm running another one in May. It's amazing. I love it. They get me for 4 weeks, right? We do this class. There's very large groups, but it's amazing. We have a lot of support team. And then they get 3 coaching sessions with our certified coaches. So I really want to try to take the clinical experience where my billionaire clients have and give it to everybody as closely as I can.
You're unbelievable. And it's funny because we're out of time. They're wrapping me up, but I want to talk to you for like another hour or two. You know what? I need a part 2 podcast, and you Dolan, make it happen.
I brought you a cleanse.
Oh, you did?
I brought you bars.
Oh, you did?
I did. Yep.
Oh, that's awesome.
Absolutely. And there's not one ingredient in there that wasn't hand selected by me.
Oh, that's so great.
Yeah.
What do you think about this whole water cleanse thing? No, good. I've never done one. Yeah. I've never done one. It doesn't sound healthy to me.
Everything you do is nutrient dependent.
Right. Wait, you brought me a 30-day cleanse?
Yeah. No, I didn't. I brought you a 10, but you want to do 30?
No, I'll do whatever you say.
I want you to do 30.
I did a juice cleanse for 16 days.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You know what? On the 16th day, I lifted more weight on the bench press than I've ever lifted in my entire life.
That's awesome. How was your calcium score?
I have no idea. Yeah. My calcium score was terrible.
Right.
Yeah.
So
it was something Raphael and I have in common.
Yeah. So we had a little meeting the other day, and there was a whole group of people, and Raphael was saying to do one thing, and I was saying to do the other, and I was tired and grumpy. I will tell you that. And I turned around and said, "Who's healthier in the room? Do you want to be like him? Or do you want to be like me?" Yeah. I don't have time to explain the why. Follow me. Let's get out of here. I got shit to do, But yeah, no. So genuinely,
I'll do everything you bring me. I'll do it all.
All right, and then you know what we'll do? We'll follow up.
I would love to have. Do you come to here often at all?
Yeah.
Don't you say? Didn't your daughter live
so
here?
my daughter races, and she's here in the off season. So
good.
she's here for Arizona season, and they're in Wyoming. The other
races
part.
Horses.
She's a barrel racer.
Oh, barrel racer. Oh, wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Has she ever done the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo?
The one that just had the big brawl.
Yeah. I used to live in Houston. I just remember how huge
Yeah. She's done Houston. She's done Denver. She's done quite a few of them. Yeah, all over. Yeah.
Well, thank you for being on my podcast.
Thank you for having me. It's so fun, and I want to get you like outrageously healthy.
I would love that.
Yeah, game on.
I would love that. Okay, so welcome to our podcast. This is a little bit different today because this podcast is a spin-off of our radio show.